Okay, so yeah, guys, but La Liga is a competitive league. Yes, I understand. In recent years, we've always known in many years that La Liga has always been dominated by the two top teams, whether it's Barcelona or Real Madrid, right? We know that, but in several seasons, and I'm referring to previous seasons before this one, we've seen a bit of competition here and there, right? We've seen the La Liga title being shared, with Atletico Madrid joining the fray. Atletico Madrid have won two league titles within the past decade or so. So that also provides a bit of competition, and it takes away the dominance of Barcelona and Real Madrid because every season it's no longer a situation of season in, season out. It's between Barcelona and Real Madrid. No, things can actually change, and that's what we're seeing with this season with Girona. Girona is the surprise package. Can they pull off another Leicester City fairy tale? We wait to see. We wait to see, guys. We wait to see. It's exciting. But hey, here's the craziness. Here is the craziness. The craziness is Manchester City face a situation where they will not be able to partake in the Champions League next season because it is said that two teams that are owned by the same company cannot participate in the Champions League. How crazy is that? That's nonsense, man, if you ask me. Because we all know that Girona and Manchester City are owned by Citigroup. So at this current rate, Girona are showing signs that they will play UEFA Champions League football next season. Or perhaps even win the La Liga title. So which means that City face a risk of not even playing in the Champions League next season. But that's nonsense, if you ask me, because why? What kind of a rule is that? I mean, both of these teams play in different leagues. So is that really necessary? Because both of these clubs play in different leagues. So it doesn't really make sense. You understand? And both of these clubs have got a different style of football. They've got a different style of coaching. Yes, it's owned by the same company, but you can see the way how both of these clubs are being run. They're being run differently. And both of these clubs have got a different style of play. If you understand what I mean. If you've been watching Girona this season and you see how Manchester City play, there's a difference in their style of play, both of these clubs, right? And look, there's even a difference in the way these clubs are even being run, regardless of the fact that it's owned by the same corporation, which is Citigroup. I think UEFA really it can be so ridiculous in terms of their rules. But anyway, let's just go straight to the Estadi Montilivi. The Estadi de Montilivi in Catalonia. What a game that was, guys. Girona 4, Atletico Madrid 3. This has to be game of the season, arguably game of the season. Right after the game between Barcelona and Girona. This has to be arguably the game of the season. And let me tell you why. Let's get straight into it. Right. Okay, so it was a cracking game, guys. It was a cracking game. Girona scored as early as the 2nd minute of the game. Guess who did it? Valery Fernandez, who was even the captain on the game. And Valery Fernandez, don't forget that he did score the 4th goal against Barcelona coming off the bench in that 4-2 victory, right? And Valery Fernandez did it again. What a curling shot. What a brilliant curling shot. Cutting into his favorite right foot, curling the ball straight into the Atletico goal, giving goalkeeper Jan Oblak no chance whatsoever of actually saving that. Great start, great finish, great technique, and great atmosphere. That's all I can say. Because, after that goal, that first goal that was scored by the home side in the 2nd minute, the Girona fans went crazy. They were in a frenzy. Wow. What a game of football. What a game of football that was. And guess what? I mean, just minutes later, it didn't even take a long time for Atletico Madrid to actually get back into the game immediately after the home side scored that early goal. And guess who did it? Alvaro Morata. But look where it started. Rodrigo de Paul. What a game he had. What a fantastic game he had. Stellar performance by the Argentine World Cup winner. Setting a great through ball which actually found the head of Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann just got the assist. Morata, composure, he was cool, he was calm, he was collected as he slotted the ball in the back of the net, giving Atletico Madrid the equalizer. Yeah, there was actually a minor scare from the Atletico bench of whether that goal would be given, but though VAR did check that and it was a goal. There was no offside, and it did clearly indicate that Alvaro Morata was onside. What a brilliant start to the game. 2 goals within the first 15 minutes of a cracking game. Right. That was a cracking game to say the least. And from that point onwards, the game started to open up. The game started to open up from that point onwards, right? And from that point onwards, yes, we started to see a high pressing game from Girona once again. And I guess that's what Mikel Sanchez does so well. Immediately when the team concedes, he encourages his player to press their opponents, to put more pressure on their opponents in order for them to get the next goal. This is a team that does not wait for anything. This is a team that does not like to take chances. They want to be in control of the game. They want to ensure that they walk away with all 3 points in their home ground. And that's what we saw with the second goal. Koke, the guilty party, giving away possession carelessly. He was not even looking. His head was not up. And for a player of Koke's experience, you would never expect him to make those kind of blunders. Not a player of his caliber, not a player at his level. You would never expect him to make such blunders. But eventually he did, and he was punished. You understand? He was dispossessed by Inigo Martin. Wow, what a player, what a real asset he has been for Girona. Ivan Martin. What a real asset he has been for this Girona side. Dispossessing Koke, the Athletic captain, right? Setting a shot which was parried away by Jan Oblak. But guess who was there on the rebound? The brilliant Brazilian, the informed Brazilian, Savinho. What a brilliant goal that was on the rebound. Slotting the ball hard with his favorite left foot. Now that means that the Brazilian, Savinho, has now had 10 goal involvements so far in La Liga, in 19 appearances. He has now assisted 5 goals. He has now scored 5 goals in La Liga this season. And that was actually his 5th league goal of the season, taking his tally to 5 league goals, right? Taking his tally to 10 goal involvements. 5 goals, 5 assists in 19 appearances. What a stellar season he's having, the Brazilian. What a stellar season they have in Girona, And from that point onwards, it was all Girona. They scored the 3rd goal just like 6 minutes before halftime. And guess who was on target? Former Manchester United and Ajax defender, Daley Blind, from a corner kick. Great flick on by Dove Beek, who is currently the top goal scorer for Girona this season. He has got 11 league goals in La Liga, the Ukrainian. What a great flick on from him to actually set up the Dutchman to get his team's 3rd goal. That is actually Daley Blind's 1st goal of the season, making him the 14th different goal scorer for Girona this season. More than any other club. Girona have had more goal scorers than any other league club in La Liga this season. They've had 14 different goal scorers. Daley Blind being that guy, right? To actually give the home side a 3-1 advantage going into the halftime break. But hey, Atleti had actually other ideas. Just on the grasp of halftime, they got back into it, getting their 2nd goal. And guess who it was? Again, a great combination between Rodrigo de Paul, a great, wonderful through pass, wonderfully timed through pass by the Argentine to actually set up Alvaro Morata to get the 2nd goal of the game, his team's 2nd, as well as his 2nd goal of the game, to actually give us a cracking game, to actually, give us another, enterprising, another promising 2nd half of football action at the Estadio de Montilivi. Wow, what a game that was. What an entertaining first half there was. 5 goals within the first 45 minutes. Wow. And, it did look like it was a one-sided affair. But if you want my honest opinion based on the first 45 minutes of this game, it was not necessarily like, a one-sided game. You know, Atleti did show some fighting spirit. They did show some hunger. They had so many brilliant moments. They could have even taken they could have actually taken the lead when the score was at 1-1. Had Griezmann actually been able to capitalize on a defensive frailty in Girona's defense. That was a defensive frailty, but that was well read by goalkeeper Garzanega, the Argentine goalkeeper in the Girona goal. Well read. Remember, Antoine Griezmann has scored 3 goals against Girona, so as well as the other Argentine, Angel Correa, who was on the bench, he has netted 3 times against Girona. So there are some Atleti players that relish the opportunity of playing against the Catalans. So going into the halftime break, the score was at 3-2. Look, eventually, immediately after the halftime break, guys, Rodrigo De Paul, he was having the game of his life. What a brilliant player. What a player he has been. What an asset he has been to this Atletico Madrid side. You know, he's very underrated, Rodrigo De Paul. He's so underrated. The runs that he makes from deep in the midfield. You understand? The way he's so able to break up play, the way he's so able to create openings, the way he's so able, to create those critical goal scoring opportunities out of nothing is something that you have to comment about this player, Rodrigo De Paul. You understand? He did thread another great through ball to Alvaro Morata. Unfortunately, the Spanish striker was offside. But again, he was not to be denied this time. Great run by the Argentine, Rodrigo De Paul, making a great run, dazzling through that midfield to set up, Alvaro Morata on his bike. And guess what? That was the equalizer. Game was level on 3-3. Just 9 minutes into the second half. Game was level at 3-3. Alvaro Morata getting his hat-trick. What a prolific striker he is. Man. I think I would sincerely disagree with most people that say in order for you to prove your worth as a player, in order for you to prove that you're a clinical goal scorer or whatsoever as a player, right, as a striker, you have to prove it within the Premier League. I sincerely disagree with that. Yes, Alvaro Morata, he didn't do well, at his big money move at Chelsea, at Stamford Bridge, but look, that does not mean he's not a prolific striker. That does not mean he's not a predator. Already he has got 12 league goals this season, including this hat-trick. This hat-trick now puts him on 12 league goals of the season. You understand? He's level with another former Madrid star, Boya Mayoral, who's also, who's on the books of Getafe. He's also in decent form, Boya Mayoral. And Getafe are also currently 8th on the table. Just 6 points short of European spots. So which kind of says something that, these players are actually making an immense contribution to their teams. And look, this game was opened from that point onwards. We saw a couple of substitutions from both teams trying to, in their quest for a winning goal. But look, it came in the dying minutes of the game. And guess who got it? The man himself, Ivan Martin. Ivan Martin getting his 4th league goal of the season, scoring a brilliant winner in the dying minutes of the game. And the fairy tale continues for Girona this season. It continues. I mean, look, just when you thought that this game was heading for a 3-3 stalemate, right? A brilliant game of football, very entertaining. Who would have thought that Girona were going to score the winning goal late on, sending the Estadio de Montilivi into a frenzy? The fans were so excited. They were happy for their team. Wow, man. Wow. And guess from that point onwards, now that means that, an interesting stat that cannot be underestimated is the fact that Girona have now scored 46 goals this season in La Liga, making them the highest scoring team in the league this season. 46 goals this season. As well as, look, Girona have netted 25 league goals at home. They've netted 25 league goals at home, meaning they have also scored the most goals at home, together with Athletic Bilbao. And like I said, that goal by Daley Blind, right? It made him the 14th different player to score for Girona this season, like I mentioned. And Girona have only failed to hit the back of the net only once this season. They've scored in every La Liga game, in 18 of their 19 La Liga games this season, only failing to hit the back of the net once. And it came in that 3-0 defeat to Real Madrid at home. And I guess this, again, was their first victory against Atletico Madrid. This was their first victory against Atletico Madrid in 7 games. Which also sets another unwanted record for Atletico Madrid, because now Atletico Madrid have lost 4 away games on the spin for the first time under coach Diego Pablo Simeone. And another positive stat for Atletico Madrid is the fact that they have scored 9 goals thanks to substitutes in La Liga this season, more than any other team. So they've had more substitutions get on the back of the net than any other team in La Liga this season. And now also Atletico have scored 11 goals now against Girona, including Alvaro Morata's hat-trick. And a record that must be noted, that cannot be overlooked, is the fact that Mikel Sanchez has now won his first game against Atletico Madrid at the 6th time of asking as a manager. So this was historic. This victory was historic. So basically, history was made for the good and wrong reasons in this game for both teams, for either side, right? But mostly on the positive side is Girona. Atletico Madrid is just negative and positive. So wow. And now Girona are level on points with Real Madrid at the top of the summit with 38 points. The only thing is Los Blancos have a better goal difference than, they've got a better goal difference than Girona at the top of the table.